as Lex said, I'm Stephanie Lenox, and I'll be reading from my book of poems, Congress of Strange People. And I thought I would talk a little bit about the name, where it came from, before I get started with reading. And Congress of Strange People comes from the name for the sideshow for Ringling Brothers Circus, a group of entertainers that included this sword swallowers, illustrated men, bearded ladies, snake charmers, and the like. And they were previously known as Congress of Freaks. And during the course of my research for this book, I became fascinated with the story about how in the early part of the 20th century, the performers in the sideshow essentially rebranded themselves. They resisted and they rejected the word freak and decided, no, call us strange people. And I love the fact that they asserted a new identity, and even embraced a new identity as strange people. And as a poet, I'm really interested in names and what we call things. And at the same time, I'm interested in the strangeness of the everyday and the familiarity of the things that we consider not like us. And then also how we find ourselves in a strange world through other people and through the stories that we tell each other. So that's sort of those are the ideas that I'm exploring in this book, the strangeness of family, the strangeness of others, and the strangeness of our crazy, crazy world. So, to explore the strangeness of other people, I very often write in persona. I write in the voices of other people. And many of my characters I've found in the Guinness Book of Records. And so I'll start with the first poem that initiated me in this project, which is in the voice of a man named Christopher Wall. And so in the book itself, each poem begins with an epigraph that comes from the Guinness Book and orients you to who's speaking so that you can get a sense of that voice and that character. So I'll start with this poem entitled The Heart That Lies Outside the Body. And it's written in the voice of Christopher Wall, who was born on August 19th, 1975. He is the longest known survivor of the condition known as ectopia cordis. And that's a condition where the heart you're born with your heart outside your chest cavity. And in his situation, there was not enough there for them to even cover it with much. So he's got like a thin flap of skin over his heart. And so if he lifts up his shirt, you can see it beating. And but the mortality rate is high. Most people with this condition don't live more than 48 hours. And so he's surviving, even thriving with this condition. And that was the person that first got me hooked on this strange project of mine. The poem is The Heart That Lies Outside the Body. I know people want to touch it, like I'm some pregnant woman, or one of those cut open cows with a portal in its side. As soon as I could talk, I said, aorta, pulmonary artery, vena cava. These words hold my life in place. I learned how to have fun with it, dress it up like a ventriloquist dummy, throw my voice into the fleshy lump. I memorized the telltale heart and chased my cousins around the yard shouting, it grew quicker and quicker and louder every instant. I've had to explain myself so often, ectopia cordis, ectopia cordis, ectopia cordis, ectopia cordis, that once I totally lost it and hit a man for asking. And, of course, considering my condition, he forgave me. Now, people don't bother to ask, or if they do, I say it feels just fine. In fact, I've lived so long, the doctors say I'll die like everyone else. I have dreams that it fills with air, floats away. I don't know what that means. So for me, that last statement in the poem, I don't know what that means. That was what propelled me into the next poem and the next poem and the next poem for this book, trying to figure out, what does this mean? Thank you.